Knuckles cracking, checking the clothes. Anticipation. It is about to be judgment hour. Round of 16. YINGSHA Academy takes to table number 1.
世界卓球17日から連日放送。そして YOUNEXT では日本人選手の注目試合を実況解説付きで独占ライブ配信。スポーツ見るなら YOUNEXT。
Well, to break on through in the women's doubles earlier today. Is the time now? She's the younger of the two. We'll tell you more about it in a bit, but this battle we hope to be a thriller. I'm Adam Bobrow, and alongside me, two-time English champion, former pro for England, Maria Topsinos. Good to have you here, Maria.
Great to be here. When I saw this game was going to be, well, I was going to be calling this game, I was really, really excited. There you can see the tail of the table. Head-to-head, it's not looking as great for SHIN YUBIN there. Six losses against YINGSHA, but I mean, she is playing the world ranked number 1, and it'll be a very interesting match indeed.
Yeah, we'll get you more details about that head-to-head. They both played over 200 matches as we meet Roman Klecker from Czech Republic, our umpire who's been on top of the game for a long, long time, about 10 years being one of the best umpires in the world. And again, this is the biggest event in table tennis, running back to 1926. 99 years, and here we are. Little equipment check before the Tata coin toss. Closer look.
I have red and blue. Red, blue for you. Red. Receive. You will serve. Which side? This side.
So SHIN YUBIN wins the toss, chooses to receive, so YINGSHA will serve. I like that Shah just very casually says, oh, you choose, it's up to you. A classy world number 1, almost 3 years. I think this week will be a total of 3 years, not in a row, but she's coming up on that. The 24-year-old has 22 titles to her name, 22. That's enough to share with everyone who's left in this event and still have plenty left over. The round of 16, Shasha. Opening round didn't drop a game against Matyunina Pyeonsung-gyeong. This is a big win without dropping a game, and Charlotte Lutz definitely putting up an incredible fight. I saw her just after that match. This is a player the world has to watch out for. The men of France have drawn a lot of attention, but the Lutz sisters, I think, are looking to do the same for the women of France, and so far so good. The 20-year-old on the other side turned pro at 10 years old. I know you're a big fan, Maria. What are your favorite things about SHIN YUBIN?
I think SHIN YUBIN is one of those players that you can watch over and over again. She's such a delight to watch. I love the way she plays, but not only that. You know, when you're watching as a spectator, you want to get closer to the player, and I think her personality really comes across when she plays. And she, you know, her personality just comes across as such a lovely, lovely person.
Indeed, I'm a friend and a fan as well. Rebecca Adams down at court as we look at the fan vote. How's the atmosphere?
Well, YINGSHA always draws a crowd, and the fans inside the arena here were calling out her name before she'd even been announced to the crowd, and while Lin Shidong was doing his post-match TV interview. So they just can't wait to see her, and they're sitting behind me now. Everybody's got their cameras held aloft. They've got their phones in their hand, all eager to catch memories of YINGSHA as she heads into this one.
Some of the cameras you can see down there almost look like they're accredited media, right?
I know when I was sat down there earlier, I was like, what's that noise? And it was the speed that they were hitting the shutter. They're trying to get that perfect photo.
Love all.
YINGSHA has brought so many fans into the game. SHIN YUBIN looking to do the same. Skill above the fame. Get ready to start it off. It's game 1. A little break off the net here. SHIN YUBIN, some fortune, but moves quickly, plays it right off the bounce. We're looking at the first seed serving to the 9th seed. This is not a good draw when you think about it for YINGSHA. Just to clarify, of course, being 6-0, it's not like she's freaking out right now. But in the round of 16, if you're world number 1, you hope to get something closer to 16 than 9.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think Sung Ying-sha has that ability to not worry too much about who's on the other side of the table.
That's a luxury. She's earned it.
1-2.
She definitely has, and I mean, as world #1, you're going to have that pressure on you, and to become the best, you have to beat nearly everyone to get there. So she'll be looking to do that, and she'll be looking to hold that world champion, well, not hold it, gain that world championship title.
2-all.
Defending champ Sun Ying-sha looking to hold down the title. Retain.
3-2.
Wang Manyu won in 2021. That was big. Houston.
That was a huge match. You could see how much it meant to her when she did that reaction on the floor. I think she was in disbelief as well that she'd won.
Quality push here, Shin Yubin. Chinese setup on the blade. She's got her face on the bottom of her racket. A handful of players in the game, some quite popular, can say the same.
Now you can see on that super slow just how much backspin she...
焼肉ザクダレ、今日はどっち派？塩だれガーリックはガーリックとごま油の香りでしょうか。
3-4.
Now, what do you think in terms of preparation? Shin Yubin is an incredible fighter, did wonderfully in Paris. What is it going to take from her to beat Sha?
Just on that point, I think that Shin Yubin is going to have to sort of dominate and get her strengths across the table there. There you can see. It was a lovely serve to the middle, but Sung Ying-sha just came round the ball ever so slightly. Shin Yubin will be looking to get Sung Ying-sha out of position and not being able to turn around that corner.
5-4.
Yeah, the forehand of Sun Ying-sha, the most iconic forehand in the game. She's very fluid. Keeps the racket high here, but the backhand's strong enough to deal with just about anybody. Smart pattern there. Combination, one to the middle, then following up deep and wide. Moves back into the table well. Shin Yubin accomplishing two things at once here with quality on the forehand topspin and also the way she moves back in. Beautiful parallel backhand, and Shin Yubin in front by 1.
There you can see she's just come straight over the top of that ball and played it down that line, catching Sung Ying-sha slightly off guard with the quick switch.
That's Choi Hyun-jin, coach right now.
5-7.
Again, no switch there, but she's holding Sung Ying-sha in those backhand-to-backhand rallies, those exchanges. They're so close to the table and so fiery, and look how short and sharp every shot is.
I'm just thinking about how much pressure is on these players. Second towel break. Ham Sori, I've seen here, her personal coach. But I think it's up to the association right now to say, hey, the team coach needs this. This is a big title. Everybody's here watching, from Yoonam Gyu to Hyun Jung-hwa, KTTA Prez, Tae. The speed in this rally, these backhands, and yet it's Sha who's able to break the chains.
6-7.
I think we're going to expect to see a lot more of those quick, fiery exchanges, especially down that diagonal backhand to backhand. Just takes that slight change in pace for your timing to be thrown off guard a little bit.
Some fire and some fight here. Now, for context, I said I'd look it up for you and let you know. 6-0 Sun YINGSHA. They haven't played in 2 years. It was the end of 2023. And in all of their 6 matches, Shin YUBIN has won a total of 1 game.
That surprises me, Adam, that does.
That's why I shared it. And it's also a statement to how strong Shin YUBIN is. But you also have to remember, at this point in time, 20 years old versus someone who will be 25 on November 4th. Keeping cool, that's what she does. In position there, Sun YINGSHA near the table, taking advantage of just a little bit of height and room around the table to get this shot off.
Absolutely exceptional angle that she's managed to get there. She's kind of come around the ball as well. But the one thing great about Sun YINGSHA there is, if that ball had come back, she would have been in perfect position for it.
That's crazy to even imagine, going that far out and still. Quality on the backhand.
9-8.
A lot of ways to win a point in table tennis. It's not just overpowering. And right into that elbow. Spin. You could see Shin YUBIN trying to move to get in and cover it. She says, okay, I see what you did there. Well done. The fight continues. Oh, the quality on this, the camera angle, you could feel the pace on that backhand, and you can understand why it didn't come back down on the table.
She just took that shot so early. Gave hardly any time for Shin YUBIN to react to it. She really her shoulder, and she was coming right over the top of that ball.
2 game points now for the world #1. And she captures game #1, 11-8. She was trailing in some important moments, but manages somehow to make her way through. The beginning might be just dipping the toes in the water, but the end, this is where SHA shines. 1-0, still the beginning of the big picture in this best of 7. Man, Rebecca Adams in the chance down there. Anything interesting you're witnessing?
Well, as I just turned to look behind me to watch the fans' reaction as Sha wrapped up that opening game, all I could see was a sea of red. They've all come equipped with their Chinese flags, and they're all waving them really enthusiastically as Sha wrapped that one up. It's fantastic to see this incredible support in the arena.
The arena might be hers right now. She's as focused as can be with Ma Li.
Second game, Shin to serve, love all.
Back for game #2, Shin YUBIN was off to an incredible start. That said, nothing to show for it just yet. On the serve with Sha, world #1 on receive.
1 love.
There goes Shin YUBIN, coming out ever so slightly more aggressive there, and pinpointed that shot right into Sun YINGSHA's elbow. Again, the spin that Sun YINGSHA there produced. Just using that wrist ever so slightly, a little bit more to kind of generate that extra spin, and it's so hard to control when it comes onto the other side of the table.
Oh, the pace finds the edge here on top of the bounce. Staying close to the table. I wouldn't call it exactly a secret, but has been an incredibly, I don't know, pivotal factor in the Chinese dominance since the early 60s. 7 of the last 8 points, Sun YINGSHA, but I think the spin that they add to the ball has so much to do with it as well. And it takes physical fitness, it takes anticipation, the read.
Again, she's pinpointing Shin YUBIN into that middle area and then taking her out wide again.
2-3.
What a lovely serve by Shin YUBIN. Heavy backspin, half long. I think Sun YINGSHA didn't know whether she should open up or if she should touch that back, and that sort of indecision sometimes is what you're looking for if you're serving.
Good drive into the middle here, testing Xia a little bit closer to the elbow. Xia looking down at the equipment for a brief moment.
Although it did come into the elbow, she did look perfectly in position to hit that shot.
Yeah, maybe that's why there was that sort of question mark over the head for a moment. Two popular heads right there. It's just so tough. A little bit of space, a little bit more time, and she knows exactly what to do with it. You and I both love the pace of this rally, but you can feel that Xia is still maneuvering and just finding ways to get Shin YUBIN a little bit behind the table, a little bit off balance.
Yeah, I think this was a perfect example of the close play that they've both been playing, but then Sun YINGSHA just kept it on for another ball, forcing Shin YUBIN to step back.
Break off the edge of the table here, tied up at 4 points apiece. Again, around this time last game, Shin YUBIN doing well. Love the sort of opening for the Chiquita there, to use the backhand very effectively right at the baseline.
Yeah, Sun YINGSHA again playing that ball into that elbow of Shin YUBIN. Really see she's stepped around there. Let's hit Shin YUBIN right on that crossover point.
Beautiful forehand flick, follows the serve and gets right in to put it away. Low stance there. It's just different watching someone play against the world #1.
旅で癒されたい。旅行の計画や航空券の予約、ホテル探しに頭。
Really using a lot of her wrist in there. You can see there, look, there she goes. The control by Sun YINGSHA, but she followed it up again, Shin YUBIN.
Second towel break here. Shin YUBIN in good position. Last game, trying to remember the exact numbers, I felt like there was a 2 or maybe even a 3-point lead around this scoreline. Maybe it was 7-5 and then Xia came back.
Can't remember if it was 7-5 or 8-6, but it was definitely in that region.
That region of the crowd, Xia fans. Other regions of the crowd, Xia fans. But there are some regions of the crowd that have more Xia fans. 3 points in front here. Shin YUBIN fighting the good fight, looking to capture her first game this match. So you saw 6 of the last 8 points the way of Shin Yubin, a much needed point for Sha here. It's interesting, there's a rich history. We talked about China and Sweden earlier on the men's side. Sweden world champions in 1989, 91, and 93, then again in 2000. The women of China have dominated the sport for years and years.
6-9.
And I think that point is highly evident of what Shin Yubin has been doing to get that 3-point lead. She's been using her backhand so effectively to Sung Yunsha's backhand there. Sometimes a little bit faster, but that one just generated that little bit extra spin and rotation on the ball.
Extending, turns the corner, and that big forehand, Sha. Well, Ma Lin, man, just thinking back to 2019 when Liu Shiwen took her first World Championship women's singles title. Ma Lin was under a lot of pressure. Speaking of pressure, a shrug of the shoulders, a good way to release some pressure, some tension in the muscles there for Shin Yubin. Shin's got muscles. And she sets up 3 game points. Shin Yubin with a serve to do it. Remember, she's only won 1 game total in 6 matches. She's got 3 game points here to level her career total right now. Or double it, and she's done it. 1-1, a level playing field, and we've got ourselves a match. Now, I mentioned that the women of China have dominated the game, have been world champions on and on. For as far back as you can see, women have won it. But in 1993, there was a different story, and it involved the story of Korea Republic. 11-8 in the first for Sha. 11-7, even better, Shin Yubin, 1993, Gothenburg.
La Sud-Coréenne n'est plus qu'à 2 points de la victoire. 1 point maintenant. Eh bien, notez bien Luxembourg, ceci du 4 au 6 et du 11 au 13 juin pour chacune des 2 épreuves. Voilà. Bien joué. La victoire est sud-coréenne. Image très très émouvante. Young Jung-hwa, numéro 578, qui gagne 3-7 à 0.
So that was Hyun Jung-hwa, who's here watching, was here to support the Korean women earlier today. You saw Yoonam Gyu in that video as well. First ever men's singles Olympic gold medalist. But Hyun Jung-hwa, the last non-Chinese world champion, and that was 1993. Interestingly enough, she won over Chen Jing, who used to play for the Chinese national team, then played for the Chinese Taipei team in that final. Xiao Zhan knows a bit about that. Back for game 3, leveled at 1 game apiece. Shin Yubin focused.
And there's Sung Yunsha getting into those backhand-to-backhand rallies, but this time not letting Shin Yubin dictate the pace. And there she goes, slightly slower, softer ball into that middle.
Oh, the anticipation. She hangs in there for the heavy spin shot, turns up the heat on the backhand, and when the forehand comes in fast, it comes out even faster.
And Shin Yubin there, sort of a lunge. You've got to be so agile to get that ball back and anticipate it so well to get that angle as well.
This is a player who has studied videos and prepared for this match for quite some time. Baby Buddha on receive. Catching the edge here. Sounded like anyway. Normally she'd raise a hand for that, so it's possible it was mostly top or all top of the table. Yep. Clean. That's why Sha is good in that department. She apologizes where it's due.
There we go, Shin Yubin again using that backhand ever so effectively.
It was Ham Sori, her personal coach, standing in the back in the crowd there. Her mom is here. Igarim, her physio, who's awesome. The coolest. There they are. Sehyo Wan's there. Nice. Okay, Igarim is not there right now, but her doubles partner.
Let 2-all.
Park Ga-hyun, you had a chance, I think, to call earlier in the singles event. Just so deep to that corner.
And I think that is everything that Sung-Yun Sha stands for, that forehand dominating stroke. She's able to open her wrist ever so slightly to get that angle. A little bit of frustration there from Shin Yubin on what could have been.
Just for the record, the doubles partner is actually Ryu Hana. Park Ga-hyun watching on from the crowd, who was out here on table one not long ago. Shin Yubin fighting, looking to tie it up out of this first towel break. Outright service point. Now you could just sort of hear and imagine this is a long serve, sure enough. Deep to that backhand. Isn't that interesting? We didn't even see it, but just the sound gives you this sense that Sha might have tried to step around.
What a fabulous shot by Shin Yubin there, going down the line. So quick, her reactions are like lightning at this stage. It's just reading the game and reading where Sung-Yun Sha is placing the ball. And the ability to open her wrist and her racket to play that shot down the line is very admirable.
So inside the table, YINGSHA, they're still, you can see how nervous. The heads weren't shaking, they weren't bobbing, they were just leaning forward, holding their cardboard. Styrofoam, probably. Regardless, it's 1 point in front, a narrow margin here for the world #1 over the 9th seed and world #10, Shin Yubin. Clean sound, that clicky sound is the sound of a shot with a lot of force behind it and not as much rotation.
Yeah, Sung-Yun Sha just reads that ball and just hits it so cleanly. She knew exactly what she was doing with that shot.
Yeah, the serve sets it up nicely, brings it in shorter to the forehand, forcing Shin Yubin to get there a little bit later.
4-7.
Felt like just then Sung-Yun Sha was just holding the table. She's so good, we've seen her attack so well throughout this game, but in times like that when someone is attacking to you and just being able to hold the pace and hold the ball.
I still love this shot right before that rally, a quick tongue-out moment out of the towel break here, but we saw Sha standing from the side. And she looked like someone who was waiting for a bus that was coming in about 45 minutes. She was just thinking, huh, what was that book I read the other day? That's how she looked between points. Just so calm. And I think Shin Yubin is trying to emulate a similar level of calmness to stay loose. Again, avoid any tension or tightening of the muscles. It's a fine balance, though. Timo would always do some push-ups. He said he wants some tension. They're too loose, they're just going to be a little bit slow. So it's a fine balance, but they've spent plenty of time in the training hall. Second match for Shin Yubin on this, in this arena today. And it's 6 game points for the world #1. They were tight, like besties. But on the scoreboard now, Sun Yingsha's run away, like a bestie that moved to another part of the world. Good serve for an outright point. Rarely do we hear such a quizzical vocalization there from Sha.
10-6.
And another service point goes the way of Shin Yubin. It's 2 great serves that she's used to her advantage there. Getting really underneath the ball.
Some Sun Yingsha fans. And the roller, of course. We won't forget that. 4 game points left here for a 2-1 lead. Sha with the serves back on her blade. And there it is, into the middle, catches the edge of the racket. Perfectly placed. Sun Yingsha keeps cool and sets up a 2-1 lead to the delight of a significant percentage of the fans in the arena. Again, we're looking at a 20-year-old who hasn't played Sun Yingsha in 2 years. The growth, the trajectory, you would imagine Shin Yubin has made more improvements to her game than that of Sun Yingsha. That said, Sun Yingsha leads 2-1. Here's a look at the top 16 women's singles seeds. Sun Yingsha at the top of the food chain by a lot. Wang Manyu just behind her. Tong Tong in third. Wang Yidi through number 4. Miwa Harimoto with a big win earlier. Hina Hayata earlier today. Satsuki Odo catching a lot of attention. Mima Ito through. Shin Yubin. And Mima Ito took out Jung Yijing earlier. Bernadette Such by Wang Manyu. Sofia Polkanova, we miss you. It's been a little while. Bruna Takahashi earlier today. Adriana Diaz had some tough battles, and Miu Hirano an early exit, but still in good form. And Shi Xunyao, the first Chinese woman to be eliminated from the women's singles event. Still the top 4 left. Not so many upsets on the women's side. The men, a little bit more shaky ground, a little bit more of an open field.
4th game, Shin to serve. Love all.
So game number 4, Maria, any changes you expect to see out of Shin Yubin?
I think Shin Yubin will be aiming to sort of use her backhand and dominate again as she was. She's won so many points off that shot, and especially placing it into Sun Yingsha's sort of crossover area. I mean, it's only 2-1 right now. I think it's still all to play for, and Shin Yubin will definitely know that, and she'll be looking to get 1 extra game, if not 3 more extra games than what she's got previously in them matchups, not matchups.
Both work for me. You got permission. She's won her fair share of points on serve too, Shin Yubin, but here we saw some body language. The body language that says, I know that I can't afford much. I can't give Sun Yingsha much wiggle room, but she gets ready for the next point. Can't change the past. Oh, cool bird's eye view for a counterattack that's come down before.
And I think on that camera you can see just how fast they're playing. There you go, lovely serve by Sun Yingsha, sets herself up nicely to take that wide shot.
2-all.
A lot of fight here. Very proud nation with a lot of table tennis history behind her. And as the leader, you know, being popular is one thing, but these athletes care about delivering their best performance. They're incredibly focused. I think that's part of the reason they're so admired. Obviously, people like their personalities, they like who they are, the way they behave. But the way they conduct themselves on the table, the way they fight under pressure, the way they respect their opponents. These are two of the best in the game in that department. And still just tweaking everything they can to learn from their point, win or lose, both players trying to improve in real time.
4-2.
And a gift to the world #1. So with the first towel break here, you know, I'll say I watch a lot of Shin YUBIN. I've seen her over the last decade, had a chance to play with her twice in recent history. And it's just amazing how many levels she has.
I think there with the service error, it's just about, you know, she's trying to maximize her service, and errors might come when you're trying to be that little bit extra risky.
She's won so many points outright on serve. I mean, that's a chance you take, right? When Shushin was world #1, I think he was world #1 when I saw this happen. He served 6 off the table in an individual match. Waldner, before Malone, considered the greatest of all time by almost everybody. Missed his fair share of serves in crucial moments. You got to take some chances. You can't live afraid. A break off the net here, a little fortune to tie it up here. It's not the first time we've seen Sha extend out. Was it the first point of this match?
Where she got a little bit of fortune, yeah, I think it was.
Wow, feels like a long time ago.
It does. We've had some unbelievably fast-paced rallies since then. Oh, and he's coming to wipe the table after YINGSHA reached for that ball. It's very hot under those spotlights, I can imagine.
Yeah, okay. You got to play your role. Meaning clean the table. No, it had nothing to do with the roller in her hair. I wasn't even thinking about it, Maria. Why? Why would you even bring it up?
4-all.
Okay, back to the match. 4 points apiece. She's laughing silently.
4-5.
Okay.
There we go again.
There's
got to
be
make another joke.
There's got to be someone else there. How many times are you going to roll that clip? Okay. So right into the elbow here, the coverage. The women's game is all about speed. And the backhand is the more efficient stroke. Both of these players transition so quickly from backhand to forehand. Oh, man. This is devastating. It's the coolest. The way she unloads one just after describing, waiting for the transition. There's one, comes back, turns again, the pivot. Oh, it's so iconic. It is so cool.
The positioning on her body is unbelievable. The way she manages to, she's played that first forehand like through the diagonal, and it's like no effort at all, and she just goes, okay, now I'm gonna go down here.
Man or woman, I don't know anyone who doesn't wish they could look like her when they play.
7-4.
I definitely know that if I could play like her, I'd be extremely happy, and I know for sure that I never played like her.
You're not alone in that. Side top spin catches the top of the net here. Sha well protected with the placement, adding some stress to that to-do list here on her opponent's side of the table.
5-7.
Second towel break. Relatively tight game. Based on the history between them, again, Shin YUBIN getting better and better. She's never taken more than a game. If I remember correctly, the last time they played was the time she got a game. Yep, 2023. It was 3-1 for Sha. Looking to change that here in game number 4. Shin YUBIN with 2 serves to come.
5-8.
There we go, another backhand-to-backhand exchange. I expect Shin YUBIN will be a little bit frustrated with that. She's been so consistent with that, and you can see what she's tried to do there. She knows it's not good enough to go toe-to-toe with the world #1 on just normal backhands. She's got to change up the rhythm and the pace.
I love this rally. There's a fearlessness. Shin Yubin gets a few back with quality, and even that last backhand almost comes down on the table. She unloads, comes completely across the body. It was a Kurianga-like backhand. Sun YINGSHA sitting in a good position here with 5 game points for a 3-1 lead.
She really digs that ball out to Shin Yubin's backhand, makes her work for that open up, and then just holds her there slightly, goes, play another one to me so I can get in.
Forehand as wide as can be. And from the towel break, won 4 straight points. Xia turns it on when she needs to and sets herself up with a wonderful position here against the 9th seed. Shin Yubin still very much in the fight, but the pressure continues to build. Xia leads 3-1. So over on table 2, we just had match point. The silent assassin, Lin Yunru, goes 7 games with the Giant Slayer, Patrick Franziska, and for his 9th time, Lin Yunru remains undefeated against the Giant Slayer. Patrick Franziska, what a fight from the German. 1 European out, but 1 European still in it. Félix Lebrun, the leading man of Team France, who took a silver in Paris at home. The Montpellier man will battle against An Jae-hyun, a guy who's saved so many match points and has gone 7 games time and time again. That should be a fascinating fight. So get all laced up and ready to go. That match to follow. It's the next match, the men's singles round of 16 with Félix Lebrun and An Jae-hyun. So back to the table, Shin Yubin. Rebecca Adams, I'm sort of curious if anything has changed down there. If you saw anything on the face of Shin Yubin in the corner?
Well, I didn't. I'm sitting closer to Shin Yubin than I am to Sun YINGSHA, but it was difficult to see from this angle. She was in close conversation with her coach, and it wasn't really possible to see what kind of conversation that might have been. But she did look very relaxed, despite the fact she is down against the world #1, and she is looking confident.
Well, that confidence, that coolness, we'll see if it helps her out. I think panic rarely helps anybody. And in a game of decision-making with time, I just feel like that cool head is so important. The body can be very, very hot, but the head needs to remain cool. Decision center. Thanks for that, Vex.
1-0.
So 1 point apiece here as Xia ties it up. Maria, what do you think Shin Yubin's best chances are at this point?
I think service. I think her service has got to be top level here. She's really got to keep Sun YINGSHA out from dictating the points, and I think she can do that with her service. We've seen time and time again such great quality.
1-2.
It's not the first time we've seen those eyes of Sun YINGSHA just sort of focus in a little bit like a sharpshooter. I love it. She gets ready for battle. There's a level of focus that the eyes tell this amazing story of. Shin Yubin sizes her up. There they are. She's ready. But as ready as she is, Shin Yubin places it perfectly into that crossover on the backhand corner deep. 2 of the best in the world here.
Yeah, and that was a lovely receive by Sun YINGSHA there, but Shin Yubin just holding her own and getting into that elbow of Sun YINGSHA.
2 points apiece here. Sun YINGSHA can depend on her backhand. But a kick serve here hops the barrier off the edge of the racket. Oh, interesting. The contact. It almost looked like in the replay she hit just below the midpoint, but yet it seemed to speed up on the second bounce. That's some incredible deception.
3-all.
There we go, Shin Yubin doing what she does best, coming over the table with that backhand. We've seen it be such a force. And I mean, she's playing against the world #1, so to hit those kind of shots with no ability to receive them is super, super impressive.
Remember, Shin Yubin must win every game for the rest of this match. And as I've said before, this is the biggest show this year. There is no bigger title in 2025 than the World Champs.
And there's Sun Ying-sha holding Shin Yubin, but I do have to say that Shin Yubin's service game has been really, really good so far. She's keeping Sun Ying-sha out and getting her into these open rallies, and you know, fine margins there. She smiles at it because she knows had that gone on, I think that would have been a real tough ask of Sun Ying-sha.
A little bit of extra effort here, the vocalizing, you can hear it and you can feel it. They just feel like longer strokes, the opening backhand and the timeout now on the Korean side.
And just look how Sun Ying-sha gets around that ball. She opens that wrist up so nicely to kind of fade it across.
The most impressive thing to me is Shin Yubin's ball was bending out to the wide forehand. You could see it curve, the bounce, it took a kick, and still Sun Ying-sha was able to drive it for a winner.
I think that speaks volumes to her timing as well.
얘가 만약에 타 잘 때만 하다가 너 지금 니네 잘 지켰어 괜찮아 미스가 나서 그렇지 지킨 거 잘했다 근데 그게 들어갔다고 그러면 괜찮은 거야 근데 만약에 얘가 하다가 화 잡지 화 잡으면 무조건 화를 빼야 돼 근데 화 잡으면 계속 빼고 그냥 이거도 계속 나온단 말이야 근데 화 잡으면 무조건 그냥 화 빼 그 다음에 그림을 또 네가 또 잡아야 돼 괜찮아 충분히 잡을 수 있어 아예 한 세트만 거기 연기가 찬스 분명히 너한테 기회 온다고
A lot riding on this one. Quarterfinal on the other side of the finish line of this round of 16 battle. If you beat world #1, you take over the best draw there is. You take over the world #1's position. That said, world #1 leading by 1 and 3 games to 1 in this best of 7. Sha.
4-6.
And that's exactly what Sun Ying-sha will be hoping for there. A great service, heavy backspin. You know, it's small points like that that sometimes you really want when you're playing.
It's the glue that holds the score line together. There it is, right on the line.
4-7.
I'd like to elaborate on that thought a little bit. You don't have to be the flashiest player to be the most difficult player. Ma Long always said playing Koki Niwa was incredibly uncomfortable, and he wasn't alone in that.
You don't have to be flashy, but Sun Ying-sha is pretty flashy, I mean.
輝いてるだってウェラトーンの新色だもん
ウェラトーンなら白髪の内部まで染まって髪色6周続くあなたに輝く髪色をウェラトーンカラートリートメント登場ウェラ
左右に動き回転も家具下の奥深くまで届き壁際も隅々までスムーズに掃除光らせて見逃さずホコリが舞い上がりませんダイソンペンシルバッグ
The history of WTT. Out of the second towel break, Sha up by 2. Shin Yubin focused. Good variation in the push game. Gets it right off the bounce.
Please play. 7-0.
Good variation in the placement on the table, just like her push here. She goes for more rotation and changes the timing, but from close to the table.
She really comes around that ball. You can see her elbows slightly higher and out, so she can just tilt that wrist a little bit further back and get it on the table. She closes the gap.
Ooh, net recovery for the winner. This serve was as baseline as can be. This is exactly where you want a long serve.
I think Shin Yubin at this stage is using all the serves in her catalogue, and they're working very effectively for her.
I love the quality of rally here. It really just feels like an anime with the split screen of their focused faces getting ready for the point. You can hear the eagle cry in the background as they get ready for this duel, the battle. Olympic champion on his feet. The corner for the world #1.
There, Sun YINGSHA just keeping the ball ever so slightly tight. You know, it's hard when you don't know if it's coming out long, half long, but Shin Yubin had kind of committed to that sort of slow flick, and that's a really hard shot to produce.
On top of the bounce, staying put. It's a fine balance to be able to keep your balance, have such a wide stance from that corner, and guide the ball so early off the bounce from in front as she did. Coach Choi, a lot of experience with the game as well. It almost looked like he was saying play to her middle. Funny thing is, not a single person on screen was contributing to that, and you could still hear how loud it was, just to give you a sense. Oh, what a chase! That she survived as long as she did was incredible. The same fighting spirit we saw from Zimongo Z throughout this event, but it is match point for Shasha, the defending world champion, to make her way through to the final 8, the quarterfinals. Staying alive. Shin Yubin on the parallel saves match point. They will alternate serves until one player has a 2-point lead. Survival mode for Shin Yubin, looking to get this into game #6. It is deuce. Wow, that opening backhand was so wide, but Shin Yubin somehow was able to extend and bring it back to win the point.
And it really looked there like Sun YINGSHA was using all of her body on that. She really wanted to get the force and the power behind it. I think she wanted to win on that point, well, that shot.
The ball just did a rail slide across the net. Game point, Shin Yubin. And the extra spin, Shin Yubin gets her second game. She's broken new ground. Never before has Shin Yubin taken 2 games off of Sun YINGSHA in her entire career, a total of 1 before this match. She's tripled that. She keeps hopes alive. For me, the quality of shots in this rally, the one that she chased, the wide backhand to the line, she didn't just get it back in play, she got it back to where the gold lines meet. 12-10, she wins game #5. Bex. You bet. Here she is, Shin Yubin, still in it.
Sixth game, Shin to serve. Love all.
Welcome to the YINGSHA concert. Shin YUBIN looking to take the main stage here and continue on with the draw.
Love one.
It's interesting, it's not really a home game for either of these players, but it really feels like it is for YINGSHA wherever she goes.
Let love one.
The fans really get behind her. And it's quite electric down there when I'm sat courtside and the Chinese fans have turned up to watch either Wang Chuqin or YINGSHA. You really get a sense of the atmosphere.
Wow, net recovery for net recovery. They're both so dialed in right now. It's just like it doesn't matter. They can't be bothered. One net, gets another one right back. Shasha not only recovers the net, but does it with a shot low enough to the net to be a winner. Edge of the racket, you can hear the sound here. Variation choosing to push. YINGSHA, flawless start so far.
Great serve, and it kind of looked like there she was going to come in for it, and she changed her mind at the last minute and just went hard out wide to Shin YUBIN and put her under a lot of pressure to make that first top spin.
1-3.
Yeah, for me, that was a sign of somebody saying, you know what? I've got a big responsibility to guard this table. And from where I am, I'm not taking your bait. I could attack it, but I don't feel like I'd be able to guard the table if the ball should come back. And I feel like I can't hit a shot that I can guarantee won't come back from here. Playing for timing here. It's so cool that bird's eye view gave us a chance to see how they respond to each other. Almost like they're attached by a string. When one moves, the other one has to move with her just to be in position. Swing of the arms there almost looked like she was bowing down for a moment, but of course that wasn't the case.
There again, Shin YUBIN tempting YINGSHA to come in with that backhand flick off her serve. And she's there waiting every time with that really powerful backhand that she can just dictate where she wants it to go onto the court.
It's interesting, Coco is here. Coco Chanel, Cho Yi-ke, coach for YINGSHA, but we've seen a lot of coaches in corners that seem like, well, someone above is making a decision. It's cool to see Wang Liqin here back in action, his first major event since becoming the CTTA president. It's interesting, and two of his leading coaches were his teammates through his golden years, Wang Hao and Ma Lin.
I often wonder how that dynamic would work in that situation, but they're a very professional team, the Chinese Table Tennis Association, so I think all eyes are on just getting those main prizes.
And I think team is the perfect word for it. They work as a team. The respect has always been there. We've seen it. Just like the women showing up at all the meetings after the World Cup that essentially were detention for the men. Maybe not detention, but just focus groups for the men. The women needed to be there as well, and they were.
5-4.
Shin YUBIN just taking YINGSHA that one step out wide further to her forehand. There in the middle there. And she just takes her out wide. Very clever play by Shin YUBIN there.
She's in front by one here now. Thinking about the World Cup, it's funny, we've seen a few points where YINGSHA looks a little bit like Ugo Calderano on the receive. Just see her through the net, getting quite low. 1 point at a time. Shin YUBIN up by 2. There they are, the Korean camp. Ham Sori, the closest in the front row, her personal coach. Korean Air.
4-7.
There's a quiet and calm that she kept even under pressure. Rebecca Adams said it earlier.
直線機でいっちゃい。
茶渋は落ちないです。
ですよね。ジェルトブなら弱洗いなしで新品級にピカピカ。
すごくない？
最初こんなんでした。
買った時の君。食洗機にもジョイ。
Willing on the world number 1 here.
Pretty cool to have our courtside commentator with us for this insight. 2-point game and one closer, YINGSHA. She's broken some hearts over the years, mostly people standing across the table from her. That's about it. I think she's lit up a lot more hearts than she's broken, as you can hear from the crowd. I hope her 25th birthday gets a drone show as well. Service game strong, a little bit wider here. She's tempting YINGSHA to take a variety of openings.
Now Shin YUBIN just coming around that ball a little bit more. She's varying the length, varying the pace, and varying the spin. And you've got to keep mixing it up. You can't let the world number 1 get too comfortable with receiving your serve.
Ooh, an awkward ball comes back from YINGSHA. Sounded like it caught the edge of the racket, so a hand up to acknowledge the fortune. Both of these players have been so quick to adapt to a net or an edge. Edge of the racket that was, by the way. Two down here, YINGSHA, 2 serves to come. Clean.
6-9.
It's just so clean the way she gets into this ball.
YINGSHA digging out there to Shin YUBIN's backhand, and she just comes straight from underneath and generates so much spin.
And that's won her 6 of the last 8 points between service game and receive game as well. Here, this is uncharacteristic. Whatever it was, it worked for Shin YUBIN. Let's look. Surprise depth. Shin YUBIN sets up 4 game points to send this to a decider. Maria's saying, I called this. Off the hand, and YINGSHA fans like it. Some clinched, interlocked fingers over there. The worrying from the crowd. Ticket holders would love to be here for days 7, 8, and 9, and they want to see their favorite players still in it. 3 game points, Shin YUBIN. Right down the middle, and she'll get the serves back. YINGSHA is known for the ice in the veins, staying cool under pressure, but at the 3rd towel break, there's still a lot of pressure from a player who's been quite calm to get this position.
Lovely to see Shin YUBIN enjoying the game. Doesn't look too stressed about what's going on. I mean, she does have 2 game points now.
And a 3rd saved.
9-10.
Timeout has already been called.
This is edge of your seat stuff.
You don't need to tell the back of my seat, look at it. 9 serving 10. 4 straight points under pressure. It is not over yet. The question is, if you're Shin YUBIN right now, how do you regroup? Her service game has been strong, and it's been so well calculated. She served long against a player with a strong opening attack. Wide to the backhand, deuce, alternating serves. And wide to the backhand, 5 consecutive points from down 6-10. And now YINGSHA has a match point. You can see the tears welling up. I could anyway. And Shasha takes it from down 6-10, wins 6 straight points for a 4-2 victory.